I'm sitting here with Georgina Bear. She's a member of Muscatay First Nation, and she's going to share her history and her culture with us and her beliefs. Welcome, Georgina.
Hi,
So, can you tell me a little bit about your family? Who are your mom and dad and your grandparents?
my mom and dad was Clifford Bear and Elsie Bear. They were related to old Gilbert Bear and Maggie Ivister. Gilbert and Maggie were married. She was she wasn't an Indian. She was I don't know what national. I guess she was English. English, yeah. And they had they had several children. My mom was related to Gilbert and Maggie. My dad was related to my grandpa Henry Bear. Oh, he has another name, but I don't remember his name. And Frances, Frances was my grandmother. She was a French lady, and my dad, and they had a large family. My Henry Bear and Frances were my grandparents. And they had a large family, and my dad was one of the children they had, and there were several other kids besides. He had lots of brothers and sisters, and my mom just had didn't have no brothers and sisters. She was alone. So that relationship between my mom and my 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 grandmother, Gilbert and Maggie weren't my grandparents. They were later my in-laws later on. But my grandparents was William Bear and I forget Mary is was my grandmother. Mary and William were married. That was my mom's parents, and there was some kind of interference between the families, and those two, my grandmother and my grandfather, separated. But they lived close together. My mom kept my grandma for a long time because she had nowhere to go. She didn't have a home. My grandmother was related to Maggie Bear. I just tell you about Gilbert and Maggie. That was Mary Bear was and Maggie were sisters. So there, that's how they were related. So my mom and my dad had a large family. My first brother was Terrence Bear. He and my second brother was Bruce Bear. They were born in the early 30s, and there was Hilliard Bears. That was my brother. That was Gwendolyn's father. And I had brothers and sisters. I had Hilda and Edna. And there was Leslie was my another brother. And then there was Dale and Patrick and Lulabelle and Evelina. Evelina was Denise's mother. That's how they were out. That was my sister, was Evelina. Denise is my niece. So that's a large family there. And then there was Pat. I lost two children, two brothers, and no, I lost two sisters. And I was a twin, and my twin sister died years ago. They had a disease what they used to call dropsy, where you used to get a big breath this way, and a bunch of fluid would go in here, and it was very contagious, and it was very painful, and it's a serious illness. Years ago, you know, you never just rush to a hospital or go and see a doctor. We never had doctors. So that's what happened there. My sister died of dropsy. She had that disease when she was a little infant. And I never got to know my twin sister. But somehow my mom said my twin sister died at home because there was no doctors to help them. And it had to be that big lump, like it had fluid in it. It had to be operated by a doctor because the fluids in that sore or whatever was very contagious, and you had to keep all the other kids away. So she passed on, and my mom told me the story. After my sister died, I became very restless. She said I was never right again because it seems like I missed her.
Mm-hmm.
There was still that bond, and we didn't break off that bond right then. The way she died. And my mother said after a while I was always a nervous kid.
Yeah.
I was always a loner because of that twin sister. Like I had all my other brothers and sisters, like I couldn't bond right with them.
Yeah.
Because of that. But after a while I grew up bigger and bigger. I guess kind of wore off, and I outgrew it or something. And the other thing is I had my brothers. You know, most of my brothers, they all went to school, but they never excelled in high school or anything. Because once they were 16, you know, I guess that's the way it was with all native kids. Once you're 16, you're done. You can do what you kind of make your way.
Yeah.
My brothers, most of my brothers, made their own careers. My brother took up plumbing. He took up farming. And my other brother became, both brothers, Leslie and Hilliard, became mechanics. Very good at mechanics. And my brother Leslie became a plumber, and he worked on a reserve for years and years as a plumber. And he done everything that they done at the shop. And all hours of the night, if somebody was something happened, their plumbing, something was going wrong, he'd get up, he'd go out and go and do that. He hardly had any sleep. And the other thing is we weren't home very long. We weren't home. As young kids, we are always rushed off to boarding school, residential school, Indian boarding school, and we didn't thrive there. We didn't get educated, if you want to call it education. In fact, I didn't learn anything there because there was just no means to try and even learn because they were too mean, too strict and too mean. And that's where we came in after we left boarding school. We got our own careers and all that. But my mom had to keep me home all the time. I worked at home. I scrubbed floors, hardwood floors. Not nice floors like that, big board floors. Big board floors.
Oh.
And my dad always promised that when they got the crop off that she'd always get tile, but she never did. Because there was always something else. The machinery to fix, the cars to fix. And, all those parts were expensive. So they couldn't always afford. And then we had such a big family, we had to buy a lot of groceries. But majority of our food came from the farm, from the garden. My brothers had, my brother Bruce, he was next to Terrence. He used to work out and walk to work. He'd go on a farm, walk to the farm and work for a farmer all day. And what he'd do is he'd get a cow or a horse or something as pay, and that's the way he built up his farm. So soon as he got a couple of female cows, and then they used to use the reserve bull. They had one. All the people on the reserve used all that same. And then we always had a calf from those cows, and my brother built up the farm that way. And but talking about the food, I was saying, my brother always raised up a calf. It always a male. You never killed the females because that's the ones that brought us the cows and the extra animal.
Yep.
So we always had a calf, young steer to kill for meat. So we had meat in the winter. My dad used to kill rabbits all winter. And we'd have fish all summer and winter. So that was our meat. And rabbits or whatever. And not everybody in the reserve done that. A lot of people were very poor. We were poor, we weren't rich. But we always ate. We always had food, and we always had potatoes and vegetables. Because we were made to look after the garden. The kids, come on you kids, Dad would say, get out there to the garden and go and weed that garden. And so we'd have to weed the garden. The big boys had to hoe the potatoes and all that. And so that's the way we lived. And it seemed like our kids were, like Dad meant business, so he spoke to us. And so everybody had something to do. But one sister, my sister Evelina, that Lisa's mother, she never wanted to do anything. Nothing. She wouldn't want to do nothing. She would wash dishes. She wouldn't do nothing. Here I was, had to wash dishes all the time. And you know the way we were, we had such a big family. It was always a big pile of dishes. Oh my gosh. And all the pots. Not that we had a whole lot, but there was lots. And the way we washed up, like we never had sinks and stuff like this.
Yep.
Just a big dishpan and that. And we had to warm our water on the stove. It was just the old wood cook stove. And that's the way my mom cooked her supper in that big old cook stove. And but I can always say it made the best bannock.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
It made the best bannock. Like these don't make bannock like the other one oven.
Oh.
And good bread. It never hardly burnt it either. But if you put too much wood in the stove, sure enough, the oven would get quite hot. Yeah. But you just put so much wood in the stove and you have nice golden brown loaves.
Nice.
Yeah. But you just have to know how much wood to put in. And then we always had roast, with these cows, we always had milk, fresh milk for breakfast. And sometimes you just milk a whole bunch for breakfast. And then we put that in the well. It's nice and cold. We hang it out in the well where it's nice and cold. Put it way down, hang it down. We put it in the water pail, yeah. And then we'd put the jar in the water pail and hang it way down. And when breakfast time, my brother Bruce would go and get the milk from the well. We always had nice cold milk for our porridge. We always had oatmeal porridge every day. Every day, Dad, Mama always gave us porridge and nice cold milk. Sometimes we'd have cream. My mom had a separator, and she separated the milk, and the skim milk we'd use for bannock. And my brother Bruce would save some of the skim milk for his calves because if you take all the milk from the calf, then you're going to malnutrition them and have skinny calves.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. You have to let the calf have some milk.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes we give them the skim milk.
Yeah.
And we'd use skim milk for bannock. Or we use skim milk, just cool it off, and it's nice. My mom used to make buttermilk. After mom churned out the cream,
Yeah.
there was a milk comes out of that liquid.
Yep.
They called it buttermilk. So we'd have buttermilk pancakes.
Oh, nice.
My mom used to always, she made really good pancakes. I don't know how she done it. Nice big fluffy ones and real fluffy. And I said to my mom one time, how do you make those pancakes? You know, it's nothing like these bought ones. And then we'd have blueberry pancakes sometimes, or Saskatoon pancakes. And the other thing, we used to always pick berries in the fall, and my mom would can all the vegetables. And a lot of them went to the cellar, like the beets and the cabbages. The potatoes and the carrots and the turnips all went to the cellar. And it was just chock full of all kinds of vegetables in the fall. And that's what they lived on. But my mom had big shelves, two big shelves up to the ceiling of the cellar. The cellar was about high as that cupboard from the floor. The bottom of that cupboard.
Yeah.
To the floor, and she had four big shelves. One was vegetables, one was fruit, one was jellies, and different other. So she used to can beet, and anyway, that's the way we survived. The other thing is, all my brothers got married. They all had their children, and some of them were not so good. My brother Terrence only had two kids, but his children did turn out they were had something born with some kind of a brain problem. I don't know what it is, but they didn't live long. They passed on. They lived about 9 years, but they never did get up and play and walk like the other kids. But all my other brothers and sisters, their kids were okay.
Yeah.
That's about my family.
Awesome.
And then I was married late. I came back from boarding school, residential school. I worked for my sister Edna for several years. She had her daughter, Sandra, and I worked for her, and I washed her clothes, baby clothes, and all that. And every day I used to have those flannel diapers.
Yeah.
That's why we never had Pampers. Never had Pampers. So there, every day I had to wash diapers and baby clothes and hang them out. And I had to haul the water, and I was only a teenager. And then I'd have to chop her wood and carry big armfuls of wood. Hand me the axe and say, I'm going to get the wood. So there I had to get the wood. Well, I worked for her several years, and I scrubbed her floors and all that. And she said she'd pay me one day, and she never did.
Really?
But I never argue about money or anything. I always was a person who could help anybody with anything. I don't have to get paid for everything I do.
That's good.
So that.
Okay, so do you know if there was any medicine people back then?
Yes, there was medicine people, because my dad had hurt his leg. He was chopping tree, and somehow when he was going to swing the axe, the head of the axe came off, and it hit him on the knee.
Ugh.
And he got a real, what do you call it? Broke his knee or something. I don't know whether it broke it or. But anyway, he injured his knee. And he got TB in it.
Really?
And it wouldn't get better. So he went to Grainham's Hospital in Regina for years.
Yeah.
And, he wasn't getting better over there. Said, I'm just laying in bed. So one day he got up and asked the nurse for his clothes. And he came home to Muscatine. And that's where the medicine comes in, from the Indians. The Indians told them that if you use the sun, God gave us sun to heal. So there was his knee all sore, and he lived for years. He lived all his life after that because of his knee. And he used to have a mirror, this glass, a pane out of the glass.
Yeah.
But it's a special glass, I don't know. You'd put it that way and set it there. And you'd have a frame there, he'd set it there and he'd lay on his little couch he made. He made a little couch. Set him a little thing and he used to lay there in the sun.
Yep.
And let that glass go on there. And the heat from that glass goes through to the knee. And that's supposed to heal. But that wasn't the only thing. That was the major thing. But what he done, he went down to old chief, the old chief, you know. He went down and see the old chief. And he said, Mr. Chief, I wanted to... It was old Robert, remember? He lived with David Knights. He said, I need you to get me some Indian medicine. Oh yeah, he said, yeah. So he talked to this person from Fort LaCour. And he said, you know, and he's talking Creek up and all that. And yeah. So a couple of days or weeks or something, my dad came back down to David Knights. He's just a young guy, David Knight, you know, a young guy. And but we weren't talking to him, we were talking to the old chief. But that's where he lived with David Knight. And so they gave him the medicine, and I'm not quite sure, but he told him he gave him some stuff, and it was all ground up, some kind of weed or something, or a root.
Yeah.
And he said, I'll tell you how to do that. You mix that with tea, and tea.
Yeah.
You mix that powder, then it's root, it was ground, and you put it on your leg. But what he done, he pulled one of these big leaves. They grow outside in the door. What do they call those? We have some out here, out our house. Great big leaf like that.
Yeah.
He puts it there, puts medicine on it. Yeah, and then they wrap it up.
Yeah.
And that's the way we still have some of those roots at our house. And then on that weakest, they call it weakest.
Yeah.
That they have a bunch of those roots. They're right on our lane here. You go up the hill from Frida's.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of those things there. And what these guys do, when they cut the weeds from the road, there's the road. There's along the weeds. There's a whole bunch of those herbs along the road there.
Really?
And then when they cut the grass, they cut all those things down.
Huh.
There's a whole bunch over there on our road.
Wow.
And they just cut them every year. And they said, you don't cut those down now. You don't cut those down.
Yeah.
You can dig all those roots up. I thought to myself, I'm gonna dig those roots up, and I'm gonna put them somewhere else to multiply.
Oh, nice.
Because those things, you grind it up, scrape it with those things you scrape vegetables with.
Yeah. Oh,
And you make a nice powder.
Like a grinder?
Yeah.
Like a grinder?
Yeah, you grind them up.
Oh, okay.
And then you either make a tea with it.
Yep.
Or you make a paste and put it on your sore. And they're good for earache or toothache, stuff like that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, stomach ache or whatever.
Hmm.
Yeah, we used to use my dad always believed in herbs, wild things from the land.
Yeah.
And those other they were called a mushroom, but when they dried, there was a big powder. There was this like a powder red flour.
Yeah.
Like cocoa.
Oh, okay.
It's brown.
Yeah.
Like cocoa. And then when you pick all those things up, you make sure you don't bust them open because it's like when those mushrooms dry out, they leave like a powder. And it's just a shell after you dump it out. It's like you I'll have to show you sometime, but I don't know whether they have any here. We used to have them down where we lived on the riverbed. And there was lots there.
Yeah.
Now down where my brother's the ore pile was. They used to come up from under the ground. You know, if you put your manure there, I guess it gets damp, eh?
Yeah.
And it gives it lots of moisture, and then they come right through.
Oh.
And then my sister used to pick them. And if you have a very bad accident, like a cut or something, or you break a blood vessel,
Yeah.
you throw that on. It clots your blood right away.
Really? Huh.
And it will save your life till you can get out of hospital.
Yeah.
Same with vinegar.
Yes.
If you put vinegar there, it'll clot your blood.
Huh.
But it burns like that. It burns really bad.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, you know, when I had a real bad toothache, and I had to go to the doctor, and he pulled my tooth, and it wouldn't quit bleeding.
Yeah.
And I said to my mom, I can't even go to town. I have no more money to go to town. My mouth's just bleeding off.
Yeah.
And I just took a mouthful of vinegar in a glass, like that.
Yeah.
And I rinsed my mouth, and that blood stopped.
Really? Huh. Nice.
Yeah, that blood. Same with if you use baking soda, it's the best toothpaste.
Is it?
You have the whitest teeth, better than all the toothpastes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, my dad always used toothpaste, baking soda, or charcoal.
Yeah?
Charcoal?
Yeah.
You get those big charcoals out of your stove,
Oh.
those big black ones.
Yeah.
You clean it off, you get the inside, like, you clean it off.
Yeah.
You get that, you brush your teeth with it.
Huh.
My dad said, doesn't hurt to eat a little charcoal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
You know any other medicinal remedies?
Yeah.
You know any other remedies?
Yeah. Lemon was good.
What'd you do with that?
Yeah.
What'd you do with lemon?
Lemon is good for a stomach ache.
Yep.
It's good for I can't remember it all. I have a whole little book like that on lemon. What lemon's good for.
Nice.
And baking soda and vinegar. All these little booklets I have.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. You don't have to always go to a doctor. And that's what these people are trying to do now, is that they're going to bring back the native medicine cabinet
Yeah.
from the land, like cranberries. Cranberries are good for your bladder, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Now they have dried, cranberries.
Yeah.
You make it into a powder, and you take a spoonful of that every day, and you have bad bladder problems.
Yeah.
That's good for that.
Nice.
Or if you can't go, like if you can't pee,
Yeah.
you take that and it'll cleanse your bladder arteries out. If you're clogged up or whatever,
Wow.
that's good for that. I take it every once in a while. I don't go to the doctor for all this kind of stuff.
Oh, you try to heal it yourself with your remedies, right?
Yeah.
And it works for you?
Just cranberries. My mom always had cranberries. We used to go out and get pail after pail of cranberries. And she'd make jelly. She'd make this cranberry, what you call it, stew or whatever. Just the cranberries. She'd leave the pits in.
Oh, okay.
She'd leave the pits in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Even though you dry those cranberries out and you save those pits and you grind them up. There's lots of nutrition in those little pits.
Huh.
Like you're throwing half of our food away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there you go. No, natives knew everything about the land.
Yeah.
And what was good and what was not good. And you don't have to, years and years before we were all here,
Yeah.
God made what you call a Bible. And he said to Adam and Eve, you shall eat from the land, the herbs and all the fruits and all that, and all the seeds, all kinds of seeds and herbs.
Yeah.
And so he gave us all that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Much more. Yeah, all our kids, they all my brother Hilliard didn't have such a good marriage. Verna was kind of a wanderer. She liked traveling, she liked going, she liked doing. She was lots of times she wasn't home. She'd go to Alberta, she'd go here and there, she'd go to BC, just go. But he stayed home and he farmed and he worked at the band office, and he was kind of had not really a mental illness, but what do you call it? Because of the residential school.
Uh-huh.
Affected his mind.
Yeah.
And you see lots of these natives, older natives, because of the way they were mean to us. They used to hit us on the head and everything.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, knock us out and everything. And I still believe. I had so many friends at the boarding school. Suddenly there's no friend. They're gone. They didn't go home. The parents came for them.
Yeah.
What happened? They didn't run away. So they were missing. And we used to talk, we as kids, we used to talk in the yard. I wonder where Sally went.
Yeah.
She didn't come home. She didn't come to supper. She wasn't there at dinner. So all of us wondered where Sally was,
Mm-hmm.
and different other ones. I had a friend there. She used to sleep below my bed. She was very sick one day. And I said, I wonder where Violet went. I went over and told the supervisor she was very sick. Go to your room and behave yourself. We'll deal with her. All of a sudden, Sally was gone before I got up. Nobody knows where she went. Different girls asked me. She was under your bunk. I wonder what happened till she was under your bunk.
Yeah.
And so we all went down, and everybody was whispering about that girl. Where did she go? So we asked the staff one day, you don't have to ask questions that you don't have to know anything about.
That's what they said?
Yeah.
Wow.
No, kids were got missing there. I know they took one girl away. She was crazy, really crazy. She used to hit at people and throw at them and swear at them. And finally, they had to tie her down and put her in the bed in the hallway. And they couldn't hardly deal with her because they were scared of her. And they had her in this bed. And she used to yell and cry. And one day they said her name was a Sap. Stella Sap, I think her name was. So from up in North Battleford that way.
Uh-huh.
Some other lake or so. And I said, you know what? A big car came down. At that time, we didn't know it was the ambulance, you know.
Yeah.
A big car came down and took Stella Sap away. So the parents came for them. Came there and said, I want to see my daughter. Your daughter's not here. We put her in the crazy house.
Mm.
So they sent her to North Battleford to the, what do you call that place with them? People are not
A sanatorium?
Yeah. Yeah, sanatorium. So, you'll have to go and see her. Well, it's you guys that done that to her. See, they used to hit and everything. It was crazy. They drove you crazy over there. It's a wonder, you know. We miss so many of our friends. They didn't run away. They didn't go home. Suddenly they didn't go to the table either.
Yeah.
They didn't go showering. They didn't go to the gym.
Yeah.
So they was just out in the playground when we all went out. So, and I remember I worked in the laundry for a little while when I got bigger. And we used to have these big mangle machines. You had to put your sheets on and then roll up,
Yeah.
smooth them out because they were very wrinkled. Yeah. And then you have to fold them up and put them in piles and put them on a big table or tray. And they take them up to the laundry and put them in that cupboards. And one day I walked outside and there was a big incinerator out there. They used to burn everything there. And I said, oh my goodness, he has a big smoke here. He said, oh, there's just big smoke. Ah, you go on in, or I'll throw you in there. Oh my God, scared.
Yeah.
I said, you can't throw us in there.
Yeah.
You want to watch? I'll stay. I'll throw you in there.
Hmm.
And in old in janitor,
Yeah.
he's a wicked old man, that old janitor. He was very mean. He'd growl at us all the time.
Oh my.
And he'd say, you know what? If I ever catch you kids, I'll throw you in here. Make it nice and hot.
Oh geez, that's terrible.
You know, that is a threat. But I didn't know that time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there, I said, maybe that's where Violet went.
Aw.
Oh, I was just feeling sad.
Oh,
I was
jeez.
just feeling sad that Violet went there.
Huh.
But she was very sick.
Yeah.
I don't know where she went. Maybe she died and I didn't tell anybody.
Huh.
I don't know. I don't know where she went. She just got lost. She just went left. They took her away.
So Georgina, let's switch gears here.
Yeah.
Well, let's switch some gears here. We'll talk about something a little bit more positive for you. 'Cause
Okay.
I have one more question for you, okay?
Okay.
What important message do you want to share with our future generations about education?
Very importantly, education. It's important that you get your education if you want to be happy, because that's where you're going to make a choice of you're going to have a career. And you have to be positive about everything you do when you're learning, because when you have a negative thought, it doesn't help your education, because you're always thinking low of all these things. You have to have a high standard in your mind and thought to I hope these kids that we have in Muscadet would think about their education, because I never had the opportunity they have today. Yeah. I don't know why they took us away. We were so eager to learn when we went to boarding school. But when I see these kids here today, I feel sad because they take it all for granted.
Yep.
And you can't, money doesn't give you education. And I know you need money to have the resources like the books and papers and stuff. But you don't need money to have an education. Take my dad. After he got hurt and went to a hospital after 3 years, when he had to come home, he taught himself all the things he learned. He never had time to go to school.
Mm-hmm.
Years ago, the young men didn't have time to go to school. They had to farm. They had to do all the things for their families, for their parents. Today you have all the opportunities to do all of it, because our years ago was the poor years, what you call the poor years. They didn't have much, but they had to use their minds in a successful way. That like my dad was a carpenter, a farmer, and a mechanic, a blacksmith, and he done everything, and he hunted. And he didn't learn that from school. He learned that from each other all around the community.
Yeah.
But education is important, very important for these kids, because the way they test these kids today, you know, I don't know how much they're getting in their brain. Because when I went to that grade 7 or grade 8 class to talk to them that time, they knew how to do their craft, like beading and all that. But it seemed when it came to putting stuff on paper, their math, their reading skills, they lacked there.
Yeah.
So this is where they need to be very important at. Learn to read lots, learn your math. I could never ever master math when I was going to school, because Native kids were intimidated over there in our school, in boarding school. That's why I kind of envy them all today, because they have such good teachers.
Yeah.
But I'm sad. It's sad because they're not taking it all in seriously. Because when I went to that classroom, it seems like these kids were kind of looking at each other's papers and stuff.
Huh.
You know. And there was a study in our United States. 75% of the kids in the U.S. can't add,
Really? Wow.
and they're supposed to excel in high school and university.
Oh.
And another thing is, 50% of the kids in the U.S. can't read.
Yeah.
So when I went to school, I took reading very seriously. But we never had subjects like literature.
Yeah.
I never had that, and I wish we could have got literature more, because I always wanted to learn how to write.
Really? Yeah.
You know, you need literature to write, and we never had that. We had geography, but we just used the basic things like something to learn a little bit about a wolf or stuff like that. But there's more to geography than that.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
just the basic little things we learned. And when you come down here, you kind of envy it all, because they have it all and they're not taking it seriously.
Yeah.
You know, they're fooling around, they're tiddling around, and the teacher's talking and they're whispering to each other. And they're missing just about half of what they should be learning, because they never heard a thing like that teacher said.
Right.
They have to take notes. Don't they take notes when she's talking? You know, I walked in there when I that's one thing I learned when I was over this time. You know, when I said to Lois, you know, those grade 7 and 8, boy, you know, I wonder if they're really grade 7 and 8. I said, take the 4 and 5. They were more responding to us than those 7 and 8s.
Oh, wow.
Those little ones, you know, they just all had bursting out with answers and questions.
Yeah.
And those other ones hardly, just freezing up, scared to talk or answer.
Huh.
You know? And some of them still beating while you're talking and they're not looking at you.
Yeah.
I said, you nurse, that's not respect, you know. You have to look at the person that's talking to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, education is very, very important for these kids. But you need to take it seriously because you're not going to get that back.
Yeah.
You're not getting it back. Use every day of your life to learn all you can because if you want to be the best in what you want to be, whatever it will be, could be doctors, nurses, cooks, and it all takes math and all those subjects. You need math to be a cook, how to measure everything. You need math for the nurses, doctors, farmers, everything. No, these kids are not taking their life seriously, especially the big ones. I admire those little ones. They're just bursting with questions and answers and everything, and you can't even get an answer of 7 and 8.
Yeah.
Or is it 7 and 9?
I think it's
7
7
and
and
8.
8, yeah.
Boy, these kids, I said, you kids, I said, I told them right to their faces when I was there. I said, you guys, when you come out of there, you go into your next grade. You think if you go to Carleton, you're going to be smart? I said, take it serious, boys. I said, it means your career. What are you going to choose to be? You know, and some of them, you know, they just bypass all the important little marks that they need to have.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe the littlest thing. It might be the one thing that they needed and they never responded to it. And now they need it. So there, they need to respond to that teacher. I said to them, you boys and girls, listen to me now. Listen to your teacher when she talks to you. When she's talking to you, look at her in the face. Or if she says to take notes, make sure you take notes and not be beaten. Some of them are beaten when the teacher's talking.
Yeah.
I said, you know, that's not right. Put your beating away. There's a time for everything. In the Bible, there's a time for everything.
Yeah.
Under the sun. It's time to drink, time to sleep, time to learn, whatever, you know. You don't have to rush it. You have tomorrow to beat. You have in an hour to beat. But you don't have your teacher in an hour if you don't, you know. These teachers love you and they care about you, so you better listen to them. And some of them don't even hear what you said. No. You know those kids, those little ones?
Yeah.
4 and 5 even. They respond more than those 7 and 8s. I can't get over it. Ross said the same thing. No, they just don't take it seriously. And I wish I could add all that back that I could have went to school. I can't even sit in a school setting anymore.
Yeah.
If I had to go to school, I'd go crazy. Because when I went to school, boy, that was terrible. It wasn't even like I was going to school. It seems like I was in a prison or something.
That's too bad.
Yeah, boy.
I'm sorry that your experience with school was so terrible, and I'm glad that you saying what you're saying about the school here and about the kids and how they need to respect that.
They need to respect it because, geez, I wish I had what they have, but they're still missing what they should have.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'd like to thank you for sharing your information with us. I really appreciate it. Your grandkids, great grandkids, nieces, and nephews, all the way down, are always going to have this information that you've shared with us. We appreciate you, Georgina. Thank you for sharing
Yeah.
everything with us.
But not only that, you even need education to be a gardener.
Yeah.
How to measure your rows and measure your seed.
Yep.
No. And you need kids. I'll tell you once and for all. Do not be lazy. God said it's sin. Respect your parents and your elders. And also be kind to each other. God says love each other like I love you.
Well, thank you for your information, Georgina, and thank you for your interview.
Yeah.
All right.